Democrats are staging protests demanding Elon Musk's arrest. They claim he's seizing power and is leading an unelected shadow government that's running America.
Elon Musk is seizing power from the American people.
To which Americans replied, good.
My ridiculously circuitous plan is 1/4 complete.
I'm Bridget Phetasy, and this is your Dumpster Fire. Welcome to Dumpster Fire, where we make burgers out of your sacred cows. And if your sacred cow is unelected government officials who have been laundering all your money, then you are an idiot. What's funny about this claim is that an unelected shadow government just ran this country for 4 years while they hid the fact that the elected president was barely functioning.
End of quote. Repeat the line.
And shamed Americans for pointing it out. It was so bad, the people elected Donald Trump again.
Guess who's back?
So true. It's so wild.
And yet, and Democrats still don't get it. They still don't get it. And they continue to implode. They're literally out there standing next to arrest Elon Musk signs. Their popularity is at historic lows. Elizabeth Warren is giving speeches about how he's seizing power. What are you talking about? You guys keep trying to make the argument that Elon isn't what Americans voted for and that normies voted for normalcy, and they don't want all this chaos. Normies voted for normalcy, so we voted for Trump?
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Do you guys hear yourselves? Do you know any normies? For the record, we're all high-fiving at the playground and sending each other memes in the group chats. This is exactly what we voted for. We're getting exactly what we voted for. And it's true. I completely forgot what the Trump years are like. They're chaotic. We are all cats with a laser, and Trump is the guy with the laser pointer. It is a never-ending cascade of breaking news. We are only 2.5 weeks into this administration, you guys, so stay hydrated. It's going to be a long 4 years. I just think the idea of normies voting for Trump because they want normalcy is funny. It's accurate in some ways, and in other ways, it's not. No one with a brain would vote for Trump for normalcy. We voted for stuff to happen, and some of that stuff is a return to normal. Like, for instance, men and women are different, and only females should play in women's sports. You know, simple, basic concepts that somehow we now need to vote on and reinstate. Yes, normies voted for normalcy in that respect. It's also funny, left-wing pundits and talkers and writers are so concerned about the high-minded ideals of why people voted for Trump suddenly, after calling us a bunch of nose-picking idiots who just wanted racism or something for like the past 4 years. Suddenly we have reasons you care about? Oh, suddenly it's like, that's not why the people voted for Trump. Yeah, you guys told us we were just MAGA-tards for like ever. Oh, it's not about the eggs after all, is it? Yeah, it's about the eggs. It's also about protecting our girls from getting knocked out by a male volleyball player, which has given Trump easy dunks coming into this administration. He signed an executive order to protect girls' sports in a moment of incredible optics as he's surrounded by young girls, young women, and older women just celebrating him. It is beyond parody of Phetasy that Donald Trump is the greatest feminist president of our time.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Give the man an award, a feminist award. He is a feminist hero. Put him on a coin next to Susan B. Anthony. And still the left continues to lose their mind. And they're all freaking out now about a constitutional crisis because Elon and his DOGE kids are in the White House. The Atlantic came out with a piece that said the constitutional crisis is here. And it's funny watching people call it a constitutional crisis because the woman who is not elected lost an election after her boss had too much dementia to keep his job. I feel like there was a constitutional crisis before when that guy was in the White House eating pudding with no idea what was going on around him. But but you wouldn't expect any of these news organizations to cover that, would you? Stick around, I have more to say about all of this before our next segment. Don't forget to like, subscribe, touch my bells and buttons, and tell your friends about us. Please help us reach our goal of 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're very excited to hit that. Also, tell us in the comments what we should do for our 200th dumpster fire and 100,000 subscribers when we hit it. We need ideas. You have to stick around through the ad to see the weather report, guys. Sorry, them's the rules. But I'm getting closer and closer to that weather report every week. Are you guys dealing with an HMO like I am? It's such a pain in the ass. And if you want to get any sort of testing done to ensure you're making your health a priority, you've got to like jump through a million hoops and go talk to a million doctors and get a referral and wait a year or whatever for an appointment with the specialist you need to see. Just cut out all of those middlemen, especially if it's for simple tests that you can get done at a lab. Quest simplifies this process. I can purchase my own lab tests online and test for a multitude of health issues I might be concerned about, and then take those results to my doctor and be better armed with the information that I need. At questhealth.com, you can get hundreds of tests across several different categories, from allergies to heart health, hormones, sexual health, women's health tests, are you in perimenopause, men's health tests like your testosterone, your prostate, sexy, and so much more. Visit questhealth.com today. Use the code FIRE to get 25% off and find answers to the multitude of health questions you may have. That's questhealth.com and use the code FIRE for 25% off. Link is in the description below. And now let's check the weather with Mary Lou Kaufman.
Máximo de 31 y de todos modos persiste la posibilidad de algún chubasco, aunque ya sería de forma más aislada a partir de mañana con un 40%. Esto es válido también para el sábado, domingo, lunes y martes. Medio nublado, chubasco ocasional.
Thank you, Mary Lou. Now back to what we voted for. Americans voted to have some accountability. We voted for the government to live within the same rules the rest of us have to live by. I know it seems like it's asking a lot. I know many of us have surrendered our dreams and our hearts and our souls to ever thinking that there might be some kind of accountability in our system. We definitely voted for Elon. Most of us who voted for Trump knew Elon was part of the package. Elon, Mr. Move Fast and Break Shit. Trump's chaotic energy with Elon's rocket booster energy is going to be a wild and bananas 4 years, because he is the guy that wants to get things done in 3 days. And by the way, seeing Trump in action only highlights what a scandal the past 4 years truly were and should remain. Someone should be held accountable for that. I doubt anyone ever will be, but it is a scandal that we had a non-functioning president for 4 years, and now these same people are trying to tell us that we have an unelected shadow government working. These people are very transparent. Elon Musk's DOGE team that's sleeping on the floor of the West Wing has been very busy, and they have already uncovered vast swaths of waste, mismanagement, fraud, and theft by auditing the Treasury payment system. Follow the money. How hard is this? How hard is it? This is like that movie Dave, where they come in and they just audit the government and look at where the budget, like try and balance the budget. And they're like, no, it's impossible. And then they do it.
Why is this such a revolutionary concept to audit where our money is going?
I feel like the only people who are flipping out are people who are beneficiaries of it. Why else would you flip out? Everyone else in America is like cheering for this. It is truly one of those situations where you feel, I have felt I think so many Americans have just surrendered and felt helpless to the idea that there's corruption everywhere. You can perceive it, you can feel it. You're like, oh, my tax money, where does it even go? It reminds me of Cardi B in like 2018. Remember when she was like, where's my fucking money?
Yeah.
Uncle Sam, I want to know what you're doing with my fucking tax money.
And it's a good question. We all want to know. I would love a line by line itemized detail of where all of my money goes. And you just have no idea. In California, we have even less of an idea. And we have a ballooning budget crisis that's devaluing our currency, not to mention that the interest on our debt is going to be the number one line item that we carry. It will all collapse. Anyone who knows anything about about economics knows that this is not stable. It's definitely not stable for our currency. We're borrowing against our kids and our kids' kids and destroying their future. And somebody had to do something about it. Someone. And no one was doing anything about it. No one. I think the reason that you get jaded as you get older and you start realizing like, oh, nothing changes is because nothing really changes. You have these culture wars and people freak out and there's the big fight around the time of the election and then the power changes hands and literally nothing changes. We move along, the debt gets bigger, we keep getting into wars and things just kind of slowly start to get crappier and crappier. When I was on Normal World with Ann Coulter, she was talking about how America is just going to drift into a crappier and crappier version where everything's getting worse and things start breaking down and our infrastructure starts breaking down. And you're seeing this. We were already seeing this. Americans were feeling this. Our dollars weren't going as far. The middle class is being eroded.
Eroding.
It's just the quality of life isn't as good. It's harder to achieve what our parents achieved. For millennials and Gen Z, it's even harder. And people were like, how do you put the brakes on that? Well, you get Elon Musk and 6 little genius autistic kids. These guys, I need a movie about them, like now. Luke Ferriter is one of them, and he deciphered like an ancient scroll that was buried in Pompeii or how to read it. We have Tom Hanks from the Da Vinci Code working on this. We have these guys, like they're such geniuses. By the way, they could be doing anything they wanted in the private sector, making millions of dollars, and instead they're sleeping on mattresses trying to line by line edit like the freaking American budget and asking all of these American workers and bureaucrats to justify their jobs, which is hilarious.
What would you say you do here? Well, look, I already told you.
This is bipartisan too, by the way. If you haven't had your brain completely broken by Trump derangement syndrome, you would be able to step back and see that this is good. Everybody on the left has been calling for this for years. That movie, Dave, is what Democrats wanted in the 90s.
A couple things I'd like to go over in the budget.
Do we have anything on the budget today?
This is not controversial stuff. People have been calling for this on both sides of the aisle. The Tea Party wanted government accountability. Everyone claims to want it while they do nothing about it once they actually get power. This is it is truly radical to see this happening in our government, and it is exciting. And no matter where you are on the political spectrum, if you are a middle-class average American, you should be cheering for this. I know it's hard to because Donald Trump and whatever, but this is good. We need to shine light. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. It is crazy when you start looking at where this money is going. DOGE discovered that the Treasury Payment Approval Officers were instructed to approve all payments, even known fraudulent or terrorist groups. There's no oversight on any of this. They're looking at all of this line by line. It's hilarious. U.S. aid is just a slush fund. People have talked about this for years. It's finally coming to light. Like we always knew. We knew our money was going to ridiculous stuff. We could always sense it. You always just felt like this helplessness and surrender. And life is hard. You just grind on and keep making money and going, I don't know where it goes. I honestly had no idea how absurd the money was that went out. Like Biden's State Department spent $50,000 on transgender opera in Colombia, another $32,000 on transgender comic books in Peru. There was $6.9 million for smart toilets that recognize users by anal print. Maybe it would be easier to figure out what American tax dollars aren't paying for. I mean, it's all just coming to light, and more is going to come to light. They haven't even scratched the surface. They're starting to look at Medicaid and Medicare And believe me, Max Meyer, our friend of the show here, he said no one with any kind of like numerical competency has ever looked at the budgets for anything in Medicare. And when you start looking at provider end fraud and all the fraud that people are cushioning and changing, it is crazy. Also, why our insurance is so expensive and unreasonable. So it seems like it's just the beginning, and I'm personally excited. And yes, we voted to own Gaza. Okay, maybe I didn't vote for that. I did have it on my bingo card. I didn't think it would happen so quickly. Trump recently mentioned that America was going to own Gaza.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too.
Not sure how that's going to happen, but stranger things have happened in this timeline. I do appreciate that it's infuriating everyone on either end of the horseshoe. It's pretty hilarious. Oh, Trump, I've missed him so much. Truly, it's moments like this. He actually said it would be the Riviera of the Middle East.
I don't want to be cute. I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad. This could be so magnificent.
It's going to be the Riviera of the Middle East. We're going to have Mar Gaza. You can go there and drink a mocktail. Noam Bloom had a hilarious tweet where he said, from the Riviera to the sea, from the Riviera to the sea, McDonald's will be free. We shot this 2 days ago, so if there's a lot of news that's broken between now and then, we'll catch up with it on Monday. If you love Dumpster Fire, the best thing you can do is become a supporter at Phetasy.com. That is where all roads lead and will always lead. You get the unedited version of Dumpster Fire, this Dumpster Fire, and we leave a lot of inappropriate things on the cutting room floor. And you also get access to everything else we're doing, and it's a lot. And you also get a discount on our merch, which we never promote because we're idiots, at BridgetPhetasy.com. Join us right here on YouTube every Tuesday and Friday night at 8 p.m. Central Time for the new Dumpster Fire. We do a live chat, which is always hilarious. I will try to be in the chat every time that I can be. And we moved Walk-Ins Welcome, my beloved other podcast, off of this YouTube channel to its own. So please, everyone, go subscribe to our new YouTube channel. There's a link in the description below. Walk-Ins Welcome with Bridget Phetasy to make it easy. We had Curtis Yarvin on this week, so run over there and check out that interview. It's a little bonkers. Thank you to everyone who helps make Dumpster Fire possible. Thank you to Quest for sponsoring today's episode. Support the people who support us. Thank you, audience. We love you. You guys are hilarious and fun. We love seeing you in the chat. Thank you for being here. If you're here right now at the live premiere, thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Bridget.
Maggie does it all. And now to cleanse your palate, the internet is glorious.
I called a radio talk show. I gave them the solution to the crisis in the Middle East.
Giving the Palestinians Greenland? You heard it? I didn't know that was you. You were great.
Giving the Palestinians Greenland?
It's a big place. Nobody uses it.
No. No.
Remember, guys, life is absurd. Don't take yourself so seriously. Take the work seriously. Don't take yourself so seriously. It's going to be a long 4 years if you take yourself too seriously. This has been your Dumpster Fire. I'm Bridget Phetasy. Now make me rich so I can go get some land in the Riviera
of the Middle East.
He's just so great.
And the unicorns dance while the world burns, world burns.